Good evening, everybody. We'll go ahead and get started. Thank you all for joining us tonight for our discussion on making the property tax cap part of the Indiana State Constitution. My name is Paula Hughes. I'm the Vice President of the Allen County Council, and I am hosting this evening. The evening was organized by Watchdog Indiana. If you're not familiar, you can find out more about that organization at watchdogsindiana.org. And later on, we'll introduce Aaron Smith, who is the founder of Watchdog Indiana. We appreciate his efforts across the state to give folks a chance to talk about this very important issue. Before we get started, if you could join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Now, I'm very briefly going to introduce the members of our discussion panel. Starting, we have Representative Jeff Esbick. Sorry, Jeff. Next, we have our State Senate Pro Tempore, David Long, State Representative Randy Borer, State Representative Phyllis Hunt, and Senator Dennis Cruz. Thank you all for joining us tonight. Thanks for taking the time out of your busy schedules. We know it's a hectic time of the year, and we appreciate your time. I'm also going to recognize other elected officials in the audience. I know I've seen a couple of county council members and at least one city council member. If you could raise your hand so I can spot you. I see back there Roy Busker, who is an at-large member of the county council. I also saw Larry Brown back here, who is the 4th district, thank you, in the county council, and Liz Brown, who is an at-large member of the Fort Wayne City Council. So thank you as well for joining us tonight. Excuse me. We have a great opportunity tonight. I am very pleased to announce that Ryan Elijah has agreed to join us as the moderator for this evening's panel. And I'm going to tell you, we all know Ryan, so I'll make the introduction brief, but he is the co-anchor of the morning news program on News Center, Channel 21, and directs a weekly consumer investigative piece called In Your Corner. I'm presuming that you've all seen that, and his Impact Show, which is a 30-minute program focusing on issues that impact the community. Some things that I didn't know is that Ryan and his wife Tasha have 2 boys, Jacob and Luke, and a collie named Sadie. He attended Liberty University and graduated Anderson University, where he studied mass communications and political science. Ryan's active in his church and hosts many charity functions throughout the year and coaches high school basketball in his spare time, which must be between midnight and 3 a.m., I'm guessing. Well, I'm going to turn it over to Ryan, and thank you again for joining us all.
I just want to welcome you all here tonight, certainly with the cold weather. It's a good thing we did not decide to have it outside. Really cold tonight, so I'm glad that you all made it here for sure. Thank you for Paula for hosting the event as well. Does everyone have one of these forms right here? This is for Senate Joint Resolution 1. It's the legal language of that. And that's the goal tonight, is to talk about Senate Joint Resolution 1, so the constitutional property tax caps, and all 5 legislators, just to give you an idea of what the setup is for tonight. All 5 will speak for about 5 minutes with opening comments. And then after that, you'll have 45 minutes as the audience to come up to the microphone. If you raise your hand, I think Paula's going to run around with the microphone, and she will bring that to you. When you do ask a question, we just ask that you say your name and your city or town where you're from. And just keep in mind, we can't deal with individual property tax questions. Some of you may need to set your question up, so feel free, as briefly as possible, to set that up and then to ask your question, and we'll go from there. So if you have one question, that's great. And then we'll try and get through as many as you can in that 45 minutes and go after that as well. So maybe you have that. We will introduce now our legislators. Just keep in mind that the property tax caps, I'll give you a little bit of background, and then they can take that as well. These will be fully implemented next year, which will be 1% for the homestead property, 2% for residential and agriculture, and then 3% for the real and personal. Of course, if it passes the House one more time, then November 2nd of next year is when the state of Indiana statewide will have the opportunity to vote whether those should be part of the Indiana Constitution. So that's what we're here about tonight. With that, we're going to let our legislators start. We will start with David Long, State Senator. We want to thank them all for being here as well. And after they're done, we'll have 45 minutes, and then you can ask their questions as well.
Thank you, Ryan. First of all, thank you, Aaron, for putting this